The fire chief's report, Chief Phil Brown.
Thank you, Councilman. We ran on 34 calls in the month of January, which last year we averaged about 25 calls per month. It was our busiest year ever, so we're actually ahead of that this year. About half of our calls are EMS in nature, whether it's a simple lift assist or just general medical type calls. Personnel, command staff met on February 5th and 6th, and we interviewed 4 new individuals for hire. Officially, they'll be starting here this week: Jim Onspaw, Colin Ransom, Art Mead, and Andrea Bartow. 2 will be going to Station 1 and 2 will be going to Station 2. The nice thing about the 4 hires, 2 of them actually have all of the firefighter training already, so that's out of the way. We won't have to worry about that. The other 2 will start their firefighter training tomorrow night. As we lucked out and had a class that was starting in Lorraine County, so they'll be starting that tomorrow night and be done probably about mid-May with the first half of that. Training-wise, I've talked about it a couple of times. We hosted the Ohio Fire Academy January 31st and February 1st. We had 7 of our members: Lieutenant Scott Innes, Lieutenant Brian Smith, firefighters Jerry McKinney, Chris Lassen, John Miles, AJ Rantham, and Greg Stark. They were certified either in ice rescue operations or ice rescue technician. We also had members there from Florence Township, Huron Fire, Amherst Fire, and Wakeman Fire Department. As I said, the 2 new hires will be starting their class tomorrow night. Also, 2 former new hires, Kevin Lane and Greg Stark, they'll be in the same class. And we had 3 of our members start their EMT class last week through the COVID. So that's really all I have. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Chief. Any comments, questions from Fire Chief? All right. With that, we'll move on to the Police Chief report. Chief Broussard.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
So Friday we had our work banquet. I opportunity to recognize Patrolman Kinsey Chandler, our SRO, as our Employee of the Year. Kinsey has just done a fantastic job. She's always one of those in the background and in the scenes involved in everything that always shows up, does her job, gets it done, does it well, and doesn't complain. It's such a marvelous quality that a lot of people did lacking. But she really did an outstanding job, and it was a great pleasure to give that award to her, as well as many other awards, which will be encapsulated in the annual report, which was ready for tonight, but we had a slight formatting error because we had some pictures from the promotional exam that threw the table of contents off, and I had to yell at pictures. So I should have that disseminated to you tomorrow, to your emails. You have the opportunity to review it. If you have any questions, be available for the March meeting. Sergeant Bailey was promoted to, or Patrolman Bailey was promoted to sergeant as a result of the promotional exam from Sergeant Davis's vacancy, and Patrolman Mike Prihoda was sworn in as a full-time officer. Mike's a fantastic guy, came to us from Sheffield. Little known fact, he is also a model. And if you go to Home Depot and you go into the lawn and garden section, there's a fellow pushing a lawnmower. That's him. I'm going to get that. I'm going to get it. Also, having a discussion with my people, I told them that right now my tentative intention is to retire on April 10, 2026. I made the mistake of just saying April, and they all panicked on me, so I want to clarify that. My intention is to see the transition to the new agency, a little bit of the transition to the new administration, then I'm going on about my merry way. So there is a chief's examination. My administrative assistant is also looking at retiring. So both of us are, she said she has no desire to train a new chief, and I don't blame her one bit. But those are 2 positions that we're going to need to address, especially mine. And it would be better to have an idea of who that person is sooner rather than later, so that I have the opportunity to at least somewhat train them before that. Got a lot of football to play before we get to a lot of things to get done. That is tentative plan of action. Other than that, that concludes my report.
Any comments or questions for the chief? Right.
I saw your comments about the recent legislation that passed as far as what municipalities and entities can charge for body cam footage. And I appreciate your initial response of we're not going to charge anybody. You know, personally, I'm a huge fan of public records. I've been to your department plenty of times for that. Then I read the paper here recently, I think it was Sandusky, the mayor and the law director and you guys are talking about possibly changing things. You still stick with that? You would like to give them to people for free?
Well, I think on my initial statement, if it's somebody who's involved in a case, okay, a domestic violence case or some type of property issue, and they want a copy of that report, I've always been 100%. I don't believe in charging. I never have. I never will. The issue that I'm running into now are commercial requests. Sure. So, for instance, today I got a request for 5 different body cams from 2022, all involving domestic violence arrests. So each incident, you have 2, 3, 4 different body cams. So then you get those, and then you have to redact them. So you have, like, for instance, anything that shows the interior of a person's home, you got to redact it. Okay, it's in there. So there's a lot of time and effort that has to go into doing that redaction. So in those circumstances, it's time consuming. It's not really my decision, that's more you folks' decision. I'm a servant of the people. You want me to redact all day, I'm happy to do it. You pay me a lot of money to redact and do that, but I mean, if that's, if you guys are comfy with it, I'm just happy to have the job. Because now I gotta do it for another year.
Thank you.
I put on my safety director hat and just state what I think I stated in the paper recently, which is that, well, actually at the last Lorraine County Mayor's meeting, I surveyed the Lorraine County mayors and asked about HB 315, this is what you're referring to, Councilman, and they all had opinions, not formal policies yet, but they had opinions that run similar to what the chief was talking about. The one community, one city actually has 4 people whose full-time job is doing redactions, because there's a heavy load of laws to say what you can and cannot release to the public. So this is a complicated subject, but with the help of the law director and we're going to try to do something that's similar to what the rest of the communities do. I agree with the chief. We're not out to, if somebody wants a body cam or somebody to take the call about somebody turfing their lawn or something. We don't want to stem from that. But if people are making money off the content that the chief's department provides, I think they should help share the cost. So that's basically along the lines of what